Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2020 American superhero film called Project Power. Spoilers ahead. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. The movie begins at a shipping port with containers being loaded up onto trucks. We find we're in New Orleans. A group of guys stands in front of one of the containers. The man states that the product will be given for free, and it's up to the group to sell them on the streets. Newt pipes up that it sounds too good to be true, and the man agrees. The man comments that he asked too many questions before introducing the pill called Power. We hear 911 calls of various people reporting about the effects of power across New Orleans, most describing weird and crazy stuff they saw others do. We see Robin, a dealer, and a cousin of Newt, rapping and taking a power pill out. Someone yells out for Bird, which she hears. She immediately covers her face with a neck warmer and goes out to check the screaming. She gets attacked by three guys who are intent on robbing her instead. Frank, a cop, arrives just in time to arrest them, including Robin. Tommy, one of the guys, opens the capsule containing the pill, and Frank points his gun at him while dissuading him from taking it. He's about to swallow it, but Frank grabs it and lets them all go. Apparently, Frank is a regular of Robin. A man, Art, goes after Newt. He says he knows Simon, and tells Newt to contact him to confirm. He successfully breaks into Newt's place while the other guy makes the call and finds dozens of power pills inside. Art finds Newt, who's still searching for a phone to call Simon on, and points his shotgun on him. Newt makes a run for it. Art tells him he doesn't want to hurt him, and just wants to know who his distributor is. As he's hiding, Newt finds a power pill, and takes it. His power is to produce fire from his body. He turns into a human inferno and attacks Art. Newt's power dies after 5 minutes, so he takes 3 more power pills. Art corners him in a bathtub, and beats him until he gives up a name, Biggie. Art tries to get a location out of him, but Newt starts convulsing and then explodes. Robin and her mother, Irene, find out about the fire in Newt's neighborhood. Irene asks her to check up on Newt, and Robin assures her that Newt's fine. She goes to school on the motorbike Frank gave her last night. At the gas station, Art receives a notification from a phone he stole from Newt. It's Robin checking up on Newt. He decides to pretend to be Newt, and assures Robin he's okay. She asks for more power pills through coded emojis. The teacher catches her, and scolds her in front of her class. He asks her what Robin plans in her life, and her friend answers for her by saying that she'll pursue rapping. He makes Robin rap in front of everyone, making a deal that if she proves she can do it, he'll give her a C for the rest of the year. She daydreams about standing up to him, but ends up surrendering her phone instead, and going to the office. Frank's one of the officers who respond to a bank robbery. He goes to question the security guard, but the man couldn't give him any information. He finds out from another police officer that there is an armed robber, multiple hostages, and their negotiator can't contact those inside. Frank downs a power pill, sets a timer for 5 minutes before going inside by the delivery door at the back. Griff, the bank robber, is also under the influence of a power pill, and can conceal himself using his surroundings. As Frank tries to free one of the hostages, he's told that the robber's behind him and gets hit by a bag of money. A chase ensues. Griff gets on a streetcar, and peers into the bag where a die explodes on him. The chase finally stops at an alleyway where Griff gets a hand on Frank's gun, fires it at his head, and then fires at the other police. Frank's still alive. The power pill had hardened his skin, making him bulletproof. He gets up, tackles Griff, and beats him. The police captain, Captain Crane, stops him from doing further damage, and his watch starts alerting him that it's time's up. While Frank is getting checked by the paramedic, Captain Crane enters the diner, and asks for them to be excused. He confronts Frank about the power pill, which he instantly confirms. Captain Crane asks him to surrender his gun and badge. They get into an argument with Frank pointing out that he'd be dead if he hadn't taken the power pill, while Captain Crane tells him that he wants them to obey the law. Frank asserts that there's no law with the power pill since they don't exist officially. Every time they try to deal with the problem, people in suits show up and tell them to stop. He makes a deal with Captain Crane. He'll take the fall for the mishap that day, but can work on the case unofficially, and finally do some good. Captain Crane hands over information regarding Art, and tells Frank that if they shut him down, they stop the power pills as well. At Church's Chicken, Art waits for Robin. She gets there by nighttime, and he zeroes in on her immediately. She exposes herself further by heading to the restroom, knocking on the door, and asking for Newt. She walks out, and finds her motorbike's front tire slashed. Art grabs her as she's walking home and locks her in the back of his truck. Art stops the truck under a highway. He lets her know he knows where she lives, and even goes as far as to threaten her mother. When he opens the back of his truck, she tries to hit him with a wrench which he grabs and throws to the side, locking the back of his truck again. They start over again, and she finally starts answering his questions. A buyer of Biggie arrives in a private jet and tells Dr. Gardner that they're buyers connected to every cartel in South America. He tells her that their backers will then see what the rest of them have already seen, that they're working for the woman who'll change the world. He goes to greet their buyer and promises her that their product can topple governments and that she's about to become the most powerful woman in South America. Robin tries to talk Art out of sending her to the drug cartel's safe house, but he refuses. She tries to convince him that she's just a kid, but Art tells her that she gave up being a kid when she started dealing. She goes in. At the Hong Kong food market, Art tails after Robin. She goes to the back and asks for alligator wine. The girl behind the counter tells her it's not a thing, and Robin asks if she could ask around about it. Art is distracted for a minute by another shopper who's asking about a hot sauce. He loses sight of Robin. Robin is led to an office. And a man, Guello, asks her how she got the number. She tells Guello that Newt gave it to her, and he figures out that she's a dealer. She tells him about Art, aka the Major. She tells him that he's right outside, and he goes to swallow a power pill before confronting Art. Robin is locked in the office, and realizes that it's not an actual office, but rather a container on the back of a 10-wheeler truck. Art injures most of the men, but gets shot by Guello. The fake office door opens, and it's Art who enters. He has a brief hallucination, and sees Tracy, his daughter, instead of Robin. He enters a secret room in the container, and concludes that every power pill user is being monitored. The government doesn't allow the power pill in the market because of its danger, so drug users are being used as lab rats. Arriving at Robin's house, Frank finds men intimidating Irene. He enters the house through the bathroom window, and pretends to be Irene's lover, calling out for her. He subtly tells Irene that Robin sent him, and gets them to leave. After fixing Art up, the pair bonds with Robin, telling Art that Irene is diabetic, and they have no health insurance, which is why she's dealing. Art then shares that he's working the system after a disappointing stint in the army. On the way to the demonstration, Art tells Robin about his work in Teleos, a private defense contractor. The company experimented on him and other fellow soldiers, trying to turn them into superheroes. Art left, and years later, Tracy was born. However, she exhibited powers without ever needing to take a power pill. Teleos found out and wanted to experiment on her. Art tried to run with Tracy, but Teleos caught up with them and they took her. Following the phone he hid on the back of the men's car earlier, Frank pursues them back to the Superdome and runs into Robin. He asks her where Art is, and she answers that she doesn't know. They get into a fight, and Robin reveals that Art's just looking for his daughter. Frank doesn't believe her since he still thinks Art is the one distributing the power pills. Biggie has Candy, a test subject, take a power pill to test it out. She is able to lower the temperature of her own body and her surroundings. But Art crashes the demonstration. He takes Biggie hostage, and the buyers tell him that he can keep Biggie, and they'll take the power pills. He doesn't care since he's only interested in Biggie and finding Tracy. More of Biggie's men arrive trying to defuse the tension. A fight ensues. Everyone but Art and Biggie dies. Art finally gets to interrogate Biggie. He shoots a couple of Biggie's fingers off before the other man reveal that the whole thing is being operated from a boat called Genesis. Before Biggie can talk more, Frank arrives at the scene with his gun pointed at Art. The two get into a discussion with Art stealing Frank's gun, and Frank trying to tell him what Robin told him so that he'll know he's on their side. While they're distracted, Biggie swallows a power pill, and he rapidly increases in size and strength. Biggie destroys the entire floor they're in as he's chasing after the two. As they're escaping, Art finds flammable gas canisters. He destroys each one, fires the gun he stole from Frank, and blows up the whole place. Frank finally arrests Art. Art refuses to talk about his plan. Robin pleads for him to explain, but he tells her to go home. As she's leaving, Robin notices Wallace, the guy Art's looking for. He gets into a dark car, and she decides to follow him with a new motorbike that Art stole the keys for her. Art tells Frank that the local authorities are on Teleo's payroll. He points out that if he's the most dangerous man in the city, why did Captain Crane send out a lone cop to apprehend him? As Art predicted, Captain Crane texts Frank not to bring him into the precinct, and asks for their location instead. Frank teams up with Art. A train passes by which gives an armed group enough time to surround the car, but they realize that Frank's gone, and it's only Art inside. Frank finds Robin and tells her to be their lookout. Frank fails to convince the guard to let him in, and is shot multiple times, but he survives due to taking a power pill before he came up to the gate. Art is led around the ship by Dr. Gardner. She tells him that Tracy's lab results are fascinating, and how their studies could lead to permanent power, which is the next step to human evolution. Robin, on the other hand, stows away in one of the vans, and is taken aboard the ship. She gets in, and finds Frank in the ship's operation room. Frank leaves her to rescue Art. Acting as Frank's eyes and ears from the ship's operation room, Robin leads Frank. He runs into one of Dr. Gardner's henchmen, and their earpiece stops working, so Robin's unable to warn him. She goes for the audio system for the whole ship, and gives Frank instructions to beat the guy. Before Wallace catches her in the ship's operation room, Robin escapes through a hatch to go look for Tracy. Art, on the other hand, convinces a guard to free him by talking about the pistol shrimp's abilities, telling him to guess what animal he got before showing a power pill in between his teeth. Wallace arrives in time to catch them. He takes a power pill, and gets into a fight with Art and Frank. His power is superhuman strength. But he receives damage as usual, which is why Art was able to kill him with the shotgun Frank throws over to him. Robin finds Tracy and tells her that she's with Art. They run and find Art and Frank on the main deck. Art and Tracy have an emotional reunion. As they're escaping, they run into Knifebones, another henchman of Dr. Gardner who can turn his bones into weapons. He attacks the group, and Art instructs the rest to run and escape using a lifeboat. Robin splits from Frank and Tracy to help Art defeat Knifebones. But Dr. Gardner catches Robin, and she offers to trade her for Tracy. Art gets off the lifeboat to confront Dr. Gardner. He has one more power pill, and he uses it to kill Dr. Gardner and her men. We find that he's able to launch powerful heat waves from his body. However, it kills him as well. Robin tries to revive him, and Tracy goes to touch her shoulder to stop her. Tracy uses her own ability. We find out that she possesses the ability to heal, and she brings Art back to life. The group is at a junkyard. They're helping Art and Tracy get ready so they can run. Frank decides that he'll talk to Captain Crane, then find a journalist who's looking for their next big story. Art warns him that if he snitches, then that's the end of his career as a cop. Frank understands, and wants to see how they'll hide when everyone knows what they're doing. He asks Art if he thinks it's really over, and the other man answers that for him, it has. The movie ends with Robin beginning her new career as a rapper since Art left her enough money to cover Irene's medical needs. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.